They say older wines are better than younger wines, that older bottles offer more complexity, sophistication, and enjoyment than younger ones. But do they really? I wanted to know for myself, so I did what any reasonable person would do. I bought a ridiculously expensive 100-year-old bottle of wine from a legendary chateau in Bordeaux. But it doesn't stop there, because to really find out if older wine is better, we need something to compare this against, right? Well, that's exactly what we're gonna do, because I didn't just buy one bottle from this legendary producer. I bought 6. Each one from a completely different era. We have a brand new one, a 10-year-old one, a 20-year-old, 40-year-old, and more. Because if older wines are really better, then a wine from 100 years ago should be the best one, right? Well, not necessarily. The thing is, just because a wine is old might not mean it's good. It's possible that instead of improving, these older wines may have simply died of old age, essentially turning into undrinkable vinegar. So what actually happens to wine as it ages? Over time, chemical reactions in the bottle change the flavors, aromas, and texture. The harsh tannins mellow out, fruit flavors deepen and ultimately soften, and if everything goes right, the wine can become more complex, smooth, and elegant. But that's a big if. And what can go wrong? A lot. Actually. Wine needs perfect conditions to age properly. Temperature, humidity, a high-quality cork, even the angle at which the bottle is stored all have a tremendous impact on the final outcome. Mess up just one of these factors, and after decades of waiting, a lifetime even, you could end up with something completely undrinkable. But mainly, there are 3 big threats to an old bottle of wine: oxygen, heat, and UV light. That means if a wine was ever exposed to adverse conditions like high temperature on a hot summer day, air through a dry cork, or even too much sunlight coming through a window, even if briefly, it could easily destroy a century-old bottle. But the scariest part is that we won't know until we open it. Even if the bottle looks fine on the outside, it could be ruined inside. The color, the smell, the taste, we won't know until we pour the first glass. And that makes this tasting a huge gamble. By the way, I'm Dustin. I've tasted literally thousands of wines, and it's always bothered me how people who know about wine make it so snobby and complicated. I'd like to change that, so welcome to my channel where I make fun, helpful videos for non-wine people. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time to do so, because by the end of this video, we will have tasted and ranked all 6 of these historic bottles, so you will finally know the answer to the age-old question: is older wine actually better? Are you ready? Let's get to boozing. To do that, we're gonna start with the youngest wine in our same vineyard, same producer lineup. This particular bottle is from 2021. Let's crack this bad boy. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so excited to try this. What a fun, this is a cool life experience. Here we go. Oh yeah, oak, rich oak, butterscotch, heavy, heavy leathery grapes. Exactly what Bordeaux should and does smell like. This one also is like purple, which will be an interesting thing for us to revisit as we look at these, because as wines age, the pigmentation of the wine, like the coloring, the pigmentation coloring actually falls out and becomes like a sediment. And so red wines get lighter over time. So we'll get to see that soon. But let's give this baby a taste. I like Bordeaux. I don't just like it. This wine, freshly opened, you saw that happen. It needs some air. It's a little tense, but it is offering these beautiful notes of oak, sophistication, and like, it is just the greatest little undercurrent of soft tannins that are just kind of like buzzing on my tongue, the like, it's really nice. I would say that this wine in its current form is a solid B. And I would expect to pay between $20 to $30 for the wine of this quality, which means it's not totally a deal. I think I paid 40 bucks. But it's a really solid effort. It's a really strong Bordeaux, and I'm really excited to see what happens after we put this baby in a bottle and let it sit in a cellar for a very, very long time. Let's check on the next one. Here we go. All right, we have just hopped in the time machine and we've gone to the year 2016. What cool things are happening in 2016? We don't know that a global pandemic is coming. We were so innocent and young and carefree. That was nice. I feel like I had bought a race car driving simulator. Remember that in the house?
Absolutely.
It had like a 6-speed gear shifter. That was so fun. I feel like I was living my most fun, carefree life in 2016. Anyway, let's check out what wine from 2016 was like. I'm very excited. Here we go. Let's give this a little. All right, already, let's take a look at the color here. Do they look different to you guys yet? Yeah, it's a touch lighter. It's got a little bit more of that brownish hue, like a bronze. There's like a bronzing that's happening. Oh man, it already smells a lot more sophisticated. Like it has so many more notes that are more organic now. Like it smells more vegetal, barnyardy. Like it smells a little bit more like it came from an agricultural process in a good way. Like this is a wine that is really, really managing its age well on the nose. I really like the smell of it. Here, can you smell this? Yeah. Just come in here and smell this. We need to get our nose in here. Doesn't it just smell like the most delightful wine cellar you've ever put your nose in?
It really does.
Yeah, it smells like a nice old book. 2016 was a great year. Yeah. Not like maybe for wine. Honestly, don't off the cuff know all the vineyard quality levels. But as far as my life and your life, buddy.
It was a great year.
Good year.
It was a great year.
Year of the year. Let's give it a little taster, Rooney. Ooh, I really like it. Wow. Oh my God. That is demonstrably better than that first wine. This wine tastes like it has found so much more harmony in its expression. Before, that first wine was peaky. It was like oak. It was like fruit. And then it would have these dead zones between those experiences. This is so much more tightly connected. You kind of lose yourself in it. Like you're not thinking about all these little components when a wine is in harmony. You just get to this experience and your mind kind of goes blank and you kind of stare at the wall and you're like, oh, fuck me. That's what this wine is. This wine is really, really good. The interesting thing, that first wine cost $47. This wine only cost $59. So for a very fractional increase, I would say this is a serious step up in terms of quality and experience. I think that this wine is a weak A. I would expect to pay between $40 to $60 for a wine of this quality, so it is like bang on, priced perfectly. This is excellent. I'm gonna have more. It's really, really good. Danny's like leaping out of his chair to try it. He's really, really excited. Simmer down. It's so good. That's an excellent $60 wine. It's wonderful.
It's very good.
Yeah, I want to talk about it with someone.
Ooh.
So that's what A's are. A wines are wines you want to talk about with people. It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Wow. Okay, so far, older wines might be something to this old adage. Let's see if we can might break our rating scale at this rate, if we're at this exponential growth. So let's keep going and see what happens when we travel to the year 2010. All right, we've jumped into the space-time continuum. We're in the wormhole. We are manipulating the space-time continuum, and we have found ourselves in the year 2010, which is apparently when the iPad was released for the first time, which finally placated all of those annoying children. They finally, in restaurants, could shut the hell up. You remember they used to give crayons and little kids menus? I don't think they do that now. I think they just come and give kids iTunes gift cards so they can buy apps. They give them like Roblox gift cards. They're like, here's like $2 in Roblox gift cards. Just shut your kid up. I don't know. I don't have children, so I can't speak for that. Personally, on a personal note, 2010 is whenever I graduated from college and started my illustrious career in consulting. Great time to be 21. I did just turn 22. Yeah. Ooh. Since I've got wine goop on my hand, this reminds me of something. Fun fact, when you're at a restaurant and you order a bottle of wine and they do that whole rigmarole where they open the wine and they serve it to you, some places will take the cork and they'll hand it to you and they will put it in front of you. This seems like an invitation to do something. You'll see some people pick it up and they'll smell it. That's really not the reason why they're giving it to you. The reason why they're giving it to you is that back in the day, there was, I guess it's still prevalent in a lot of ways, there was wine fraud. And so there's actually a unique indicator on every cork to let the person know when they open a wine that in fact this wine came from the place that they think it is. It's a security mechanism. It's proof. They hand it to you to be like, hey, this is actually the wine that you bought. So you can pick it up, you can smell it. You can't learn anything from smelling it. And so I would say maybe don't do it, but if you wanted to just double check that everything's on the up and up and see, oh, that is actually what I ordered. It's really helpful. All right, I'm excited. If we keep this exponential growth up, we're gonna have our first absolute god tier wine on this channel in no time. Just gonna give this thing a real good. Oh my God, this smells fantastic. It smells really good. Okay, another fun, helpful fact is that people make a big ado about the quality of a vintage, and that actually matters a lot. I mean, think about just the weather in your neighborhood. Like, there are times when there's a lot more rain in a given summer than others. For example, too much rain is a bad thing. It leads to the grapes being like overly ripened, and that leads to like needing to harvest the grapes earlier than you expect. Doesn't always lead to like the highest quality experience. So it does matter. Like, we should be cognizant of the year when a bottle was made. It shouldn't make or break it, but it has a tangible effect. For whatever reason, for the past 40 years or so, vintages that end, or rather are divisible by 5, 2010, 2015, 2020, have all been higher quality than average. So there's this kind of rule of like the rule of fives. So if you're not sure and you're looking at a menu somewhere, you could, in theory, pick up a wine that is 2000, 2005, 2020, and it has a better chance, in theory, of having a higher quality vintage behind it. Just a fun fact. This wine is, I mean, it smells appreciably similar to this one, but it just smells like more. It just smells a little more turned up. So I'm really excited to taste this one because that last one rocked my dick and balls off. My dick and balls, that's what she said. Let's give it a taste. This is spectacular. It's spectacular. Okay. Wow. This older wine is better thing is making a pretty strong argument for itself at the moment. This wine is an incredible expression of what we tasted at the top of this video. It is dense. It is thick with flavor. It's almost like you're in some sort of gelatinous vat. Like, imagine those 1950s Jell-O casseroles, okay, where they were making Jell-O and they were suspending things inside of it, right? Like fruit pieces, and I think even like Spam cubes and stuff, right? I think we've all kind of seen that like little Jell-O mold. This reminds me of that. Why? Because it's so thick that it would be like pushing yourself through one of these old style Jell-O casseroles, but finding these morsels, these flavor bombs along the way. This is excellent wine. I mean, like, think that you would be hard pressed to find a more pure, exciting expression of Bordeaux than this. And the story that it's telling right now is super fun. That being said, this wine cost $89. And for me, this wine is a strong A. For a strong A, I would expect to pay between $80 to $100 for a wine of this quality, and so it's appropriately priced. I think it just gets riskier up there. Can I just say, like, I think there's some weight and gravitas to like an appropriately priced strong A. Like, you're not getting a lot of at-bats up there, right? So the fact that this is playing in that pool reliably is sick. This is excellent wine. This is strong A every day of the week. If you want to have Danny is leaping out of his chair. If you want to have the purest expression of Bordeaux I can think of for under $100, track down a bottle of this wine, a 2010. It's excellent. All right, so I cannot tell you how excited I am to hop in our time machine and head to the year 2000. That's where we're heading next.
2000.
In the year 2000. In the year 2000. Look at us, movie magic. We've arrived in the year 2000. We survived Y2K. That was a big fuss.
Oh man.
Wow, holy crap, people were hoarding everything. I don't know, I was 11, so I feel like it was a bit of a blur for me, but I do remember it being a cultural phenomenon. Big Willie Style was an important defining album around this time. No, the Willennium was. Willennium was a Big Willie Style had already come out. Nostalgia, I love nostalgia. All right, I love nostalgia. I'm excited to try this 2000. Look at this, I found this split. A split is just a half bottle. Isn't that fun? They call it a split instead of a half bottle. A little snobby, a little complicated, but it's fun. Split. This little guy is 25 years old at this point. This is from the 2000. That's wild. We're opening a piece of history at this point. I think you're like properly opening history when you're at 25 years old. This thing deserves antique car plates. Antique, this thing wouldn't have to pay taxes on it. Wouldn't have to get emissions testing. Yeah. This wine doesn't get emissions testing. That's how old it is. That's so cool. All right, we're gonna be extra careful. We're getting into like real cork problem territory. Oh, yes. Oh, it's getting a little dicey, but it's not too dicey. Look at this hot. This is barely legal.
Pull it up a little bit.
Guys, this is barely legal. Hot. Barely legal action. I actually put a lot of this on my OnlyFans, so if you want to do that, you've got to put a compliment, and that's the only way I give people the link to my OnlyFans. It's all Margaux and Rothschilds and all that good shit. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you will if you compliment the video. All right, enough stalling. Time to drink history. Also, this is imported by some place in Tumwater, Washington. Tumwater, Washington, Tumwater, Washington. Washington the General came from Tumwater, Washington. Already we are getting into like quite a bit more bronziness to this wine as we enter 25 years of age. The rim of this is just so much bronzier. Very, very cool, very, very exciting. Wow, this smells really nice. I'm trying to be a little delicate with it. Sometimes these older wines sometimes they have tough lives. Like they've been through a lot. They've lived more than a lot of people have. They no longer need emissions testing. So it's best to treat older wines with a bit more delicacy than young ones, right? You don't want to over aerate them, all of that good stuff. So let's just give it a nice little gentle look and feel. What I love about this smells incredibly similar to the 2010. I know I'm not like gushing, I'm gushing on the inside. It is also developed some really, really spicy notes of green bell pepper. I know green bell peppers aren't particularly spicy, but it's like a mentholy green bell pepper. It's really nice. It's like coming across as a rock solid fine wine. This is muy elegante. I'm very excited to try this. Danny, are you ready to watch me drink this and then you never try it?
I'm so ready to watch you try it and then steal it out of your hand.
We'll see about that last part. Here we go. Oh man. This wine is excellent. It's excellent. This wine has been through a full, rich life, and it is a gorgeous, harmonious wine. Interestingly, it has started to come apart a little bit at the edges, and I mean a little bit. These younger wines are still exhibiting a fullness of fruit character. They have a full, complete range of experience. It's like, oh, fruit into minerality. This wine is starting to really turn down that initial fruit stuff, and it's more ramping up those secondary notes. It's not that that's a flaw per se, but it comes across as like a little bit less of a complete experience than the 2010. So I need to reiterate, this is excellent, okay? We do have to like pull back a little tiny bit because this is a solid A. Which means I would expect to pay between $60 and $80 for a wine of this quality. This half bottle was $49. So in essence, it's $100 for a full bottle. So it's like a little bit overpriced, but I don't know. There's something about drinking a glass of history that is really alluring to me. And I think that what's super cool about this wine is that it is really doing what a textbook would say should happen to wine. So like this is turning out to be a really perfect story. And so I think people would be excited to be like, oh, this is what like older wine tastes like. This is classically older wine tasting. A little less fruit, a little more secondary notes. It's very cool. I'm really excited about it. But I can't wait to try the oldest wine I've ever tried. This next wine is older than I am. We're gonna be heading to the year 1983 next. A huge jump to drink a wine that is over 40 years old. Are you ready? Let's do it. We have just gone back to the past. Not back to the future, Danny, that wouldn't make any sense.
Back to the past.
We're back to the past. This is so exciting. We're checking out a wine from 1983. I wasn't born, I've never had any wine this old in my entire life, I'm super excited. Wines this old need a little bit of extra finessing. We're gonna use a particular type of opening device that's called a Durand. A Durand is useful for very old bottles. I definitely think a 40-year-old bottle constitutes the use of this device that helps remove a cork without destroying it. We saw just at the 2000 mark how much more saturated the cork had become. And so using a device like this goes a really long way in helping to keep the cork from disintegrating under pressure from a normal waiter opener. But first, I wanted to show that I cut the foil of this off camera and I was immediately greeted with this, okay? Mold. Now, here's the thing about older bottles. This is actually very typical. It's more normal than it is abnormal. So if you do ever buy an older bottle and you cut the foil and you see mold, don't worry yet. The reason why there is mold that can grow is that if it is stored properly, there can be humidity changes that are very subtle over the course of 40 years that can cause mold to grow underneath the foil but above the cork. It isn't actually growing down into the wine and ruining it. It's likely just sequestered to the very top. So it's harmless and it's normal and typical. So don't immediately jump off a bridge. Don't jump off a bridge. That wouldn't be bridge jump worthy.
It would not be.
So what you just need to do is we don't want the mold to be on there. So I already wet this down. You do want to just like wipe off the mold because you know it's mold. And you want to hope that you also don't end up, yeah, this one's got a lot of gook on it. Yeah, now we're just moving the guck around. I love this. Hey, not too bad. Look at this goddamn thing. I feel like it's went to the bottom of the sea, came back on like an expedition to Atlantis. All right, we're gonna pour a bit of this into a decanter just to catch as much sediment as we can. I feel like this wine deserves a decanter. It's been through so much. Here we go.
Oh, look at the color.
Okay, the big moment. I am stressed. I am, boy, a trip to 1983 is stressful. Oh, it's terrifying to pull these corks out. They are holding together with like bubblegum hopes and prayers. Like, yeah, it is I feel like I deserve wine now. So I am very excited to give this a go. I am pretty excited to report that I do not think that this wine is over the hill or even damaged. Not a ton of liveliness left in it, but I'm also not getting any like negative aromas like cardboard or anything like that. So that's a positive sign. It just kind of smells like faint minerality. It just smells like it's hinting at something from a time ago. It's alluring though, it's nice. I'm excited to try it. Let's give it a taste. I'm so glad to report that this wine is still great. Danny, we've got a good 1983 wine, buddy.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah, this is super interesting to taste. Wow. Also, can we take a look at colors here? Are we starting to get it? We're starting to really see it now. You seeing those? Brand new one, 1983. Wow. Okay, what's happening in a glass that's over 40 years old? Tell you what, it's a very different experience. This wine from the year 2000 is still in the family of these other wines. It's showing up to the family reunion and everyone knows who it is. They're like, oh, Uncle Jim, perfect. This wine tastes a bit more like a cousin that's been removed from the family. Like, it's just someone related for sure, but just altogether different. It's really lovely. I really like it. Blind tasting this, I might rate this differently, but knowing that it's from 1983, and knowing the work that we put in to source it and knowing how fun and exciting it was to open it and to be a part of this tasting, like this wine to me is still a weak A. Like it just has too much fun stuff going on. It has all of these extreme tertiary notes like minerality and this faint vegetalness. Like it's just nice wine, but this is totally pro wine at this point. Like, I just don't think the everyday person would get a ton of value out of drinking this wine. So at this moment, I would say that, yeah, older wines are better, but it seems like there might be a time when they just get a little bit old. But this is beautiful and alluring, and I'm really, really enjoying it. And I think that most of you at home would enjoy it too. All right, now we are about to definitively answer the question of whether older wines are better than younger ones, because we are hopping in the absolutely most bananas time machine available to us. We are going to be trying a wine that is 100 years old from the year 1924. Are you all ready? Are you all ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Let's do it!
Let's do it.
We have just gotten out of our time machine. We have ripped a fucking hole in the space-time continuum, my friends. We've arrived in the year 1924. I've just learned that this is the year of the first Macy's Day Parade. Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. It's also the first year of the Winter Olympics. Holy shit, bingo was invented in this year. This is the Roaring 20s. We are drinking wine from the Roaring 20s.
Life was good.
Boy, Danny, this is nuts. Wow, holy shit. It is time to find out whether old wine is better than young wine, and also to find out whether I wasted $300 on a 100-year-old bottle of vinegar. Let's pour this bad boy into a decanter and see what we're up against. Wow, bronze. It honestly smells like rich and does have a little bit of a brandy thing, which I don't know if that's a good thing just yet or not. I'm gonna be very delicate with this. I don't think what this needs is more air. And the reason why is that it doesn't really matter how good this bottle was sealed up. Some amount of air has found its way into this bottle because already it was down, you know, to the neck before, around the shoulders. So something seeped out. All right. Let's give this thing a smell. Yeah, it's like faint. It's faint, like rich, brandy. Reminds me of the inside of a Spanish galleon. Like, I just feel like it smells what I imagine a large wooden vessel at sea for 20 years smells like when you're in the brig and you're smelling the walls. Like, it just smells wooden and old and faint. All right, the moment of truth. Are older wines better? And did I just absolutely waste a ton of money on a complete dud? Let's find out. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. You know, this tastes like a wine that is just too old. It doesn't really have a lot going on. What's exciting is that it doesn't taste flawed. Like, it doesn't taste like it has been damaged in its lifetime. Those tend to show up as these like rotten or cardboardy sort of experiences. This just kind of tastes thin, empty. There isn't too much going on. I'm definitely gonna keep drinking it and I want to explore it more, but it does seem to me like older wines might be better up to a point. Because this wine, despite spending $300 and the extreme novelty of it, I would say this wine is like, I'm giving it a lot of emotional extra zhuzh. I think it's like a solid B. It's probably a little worse, but I'm not sure that I can emotionally handle it being worse. And so I'd expect to pay between $20 to $30 for a wine of this quality. So yeah, I don't think I got totally ripped off by any stretch, but I do think that there is a practical limit on the age of wine. So, all right. So the question we set out to answer was simply, are older wines better? And I think the answer is yes, up until a point. At least in this particular experiment, it did seem that older wines were better than the younger versions of the same wine. But after about 15, 20 years, a decline began to emerge. Now granted, these wines were running strong until 40 years old, but at 100, things really kind of fell off quite a bit. Now, I have to reiterate that I don't really believe that all old wines are better than young wines. Bordeaux is a particularly age-worthy wine. And so I think that this worked really well and was a ton of fun to do in that domain, in that particular space, but I think that there's tons of awesome, excellent wines at every age. And I think the most fun thing is exploring and finding out really what's great for you in the moment. Thank you so much for watching. By the way, if you like wine and having fun, then you'll probably like my free newsletter. Every few weeks, I send out an email with valuable wine info, and I even do free wine giveaways. So if you're a cool person, head over to wineguydustin.com. That's wineguydustin.com to sign up. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, now is the best time to do so, because the more subscribers we get, the larger and more expensive these blind tastings will be for you in the future. Also, if you like this video, click like. If you want to support the channel, please check out the links below to purchase the wines from the video. It helps way more than you know. And if you found this video interesting, then check out this one where I blind tasted every Costco wine to find out which is best. See you there.